Hey guys, today I'm making a card using the Detailed Santa Thinlit dies. Now this die is long retired, however, it is on the clearance section of the Stampin' Up! Shop. So since it is technically still available at a discounted rate, I wanted to go ahead and showcase it. I bought this 2 years ago or so. This was my first Stampin' Up! Product I purchased, and then probably a couple weeks later I joined Stampin' Up! And I have yet to use this. And this is, I love this die so much. So we're going to create a shaker card using this. It's just beautiful. So like I said, this product is retired, but it is on the clearance rack. So if you really like this, you definitely want to grab it because I have no idea how long it'll last being on the clearance rack. It is at a discounted rate. I don't have it in front of me, but $15 I think is the price, which is great for a set of dies because dies can be pricey. So we're going to use this, and then we're also going to bring in the All Is Bright Designer Series paper. This is still available as well. Now, as we come to the beginning of the year, stuff is going to, in December, stuff's going to be while supplies last. So I'm going to go ahead and get my card ready and then come back and show you exactly what we're doing. All right, I've gone ahead and cut out the die. Now, one thing to know with the die is that it does not cut it out. Meaning this is my card panel and it cut it out from the card panel. It's not something that you could take and put somewhere else unless you trimmed it off. I hope that makes sense. Like a typical die is, you use the die, you cut it, you take the cut piece out and you place it wherever. This will actually just cut into whatever you're using, and this is what you'll use. I hope that makes sense. I don't know. So I didn't realize that. I cut the piece out of just a white piece of cardstock, and I will save this to see if I can use it somewhere else. But then I went ahead and just cut my card panel. This is 1/4 of an inch smaller than an A2 size. So let me see my card base. Where did I put it? So here's my card base, and this will go over that with just a little bit of a border. The card base is A2 size, so 5.5 by 4 1/4. So that's how it will look. Now I'm going to create 2 or 3 cards. I haven't decided yet with you using this die. But before, this will be the shaker card. So before we do that, I'm going to bring in Beautiful Blizzard, and I'm going to use Season's Greetings. So before we create our shaker card, I do want to go ahead and stamp a sentiment. I really wanted a bigger sentiment, and you know, if you have the stamp set that goes with this die, it's so much better than what I'm doing. But a lot of I don't have a lot of Christmas stamp sets from Stampin' Up. Well, let me rephrase. I don't have a lot that are still active. The ones I do have are retired. But a bigger sentiment would look better. I'm going to see if I can kind of disguise this small sentiment with a bow. Let's hope I stamp this straight. So I'm going to stamp this on the bottom. And then I will tie a bow to this. Okay, not bad. My ink is a little dry, but I'd rather have it a little dry than too juicy and create a huge mess. All right, next I'm going to bring in the foam adhesive strips. If you don't have these, why not? They are the best, and I use them on both my channels. They're the best at creating shaker cards. Actually, what I need to do is add some acetate first. So I'm going to take some tear and tape, and let's see if I can find it. Is this going to be too wide? Let's see. My cut is not perfect. So tear and tape is great, but mine's too wide. So I'm going to take, my tear and tape is too wide for this side. It would work on this side, but like I said, it's uneven. So I'm just going to take this thinner double-sided tape and go ahead and attach it. All right, so then I'm going to take my piece of acetate and Just adhere it to this. And then trim that off. Now I'll take my foam adhesive strips and go ahead and attach them. Now when you attach these foam adhesive strips, make sure when you cut them, you don't cut it at an angle. That way you can butt it up right against the other foam adhesive strip. If there's any gaps, your sequins or whatever you use for your shaker bits will fly out. You really have to butt it up against that one section, because sometimes you think you do and you don't until you flip over your card and all the good stuff on the inside comes out. So continue doing this. Now, I have my foam around the square. However, if you take your card base and adhere this like that, say you've put in all your pieces, this is not going to have anything. It's going to look funny. See how it kind of goes down? So what you want to do is take that same foam adhesive, that way it's the same height, dimension, and just stick it right there. That way when you adhere it down, this is a completely smooth. So let me get some ribbon. Okay, I have this textured ribbon. It's in Poppy Parade. It's not going to be my real red that I used, but it won't be that big of a difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going just to cut this, and I'm going to adhere it. I'm just using Scotch tape. This is kind of how I cheat at doing my bows. I'm going to adhere it to the back here with Scotch tape. Trim a little bit of this so I don't have tape all over the place. And then I will tie a bow. We'll see if I can tie a good bow. So how I tie a bow, I just take the ribbon, make 2 bunny ears, and then tie it that way, as if I'm skipping the knot. You know, if you're tying your shoe, you first make the knot, then the bunny ears. I'm skipping the knot part. So let's see if we can get this small enough where it doesn't hide the greeting. Alright, so here is my bow. We'll attach last. I'm going to go ahead and fill in my shaker pieces. So I'm just coming in with some little things from my stash. I can get them out. Alright, so I added quite a bit because this is such a large area. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in that DSP I was talking about, and I'm going to use the poinsettia background. There's that beautiful ornament background. And I'm going to carefully peel off the sides. Typically when I peel these off, it kind of jumps like that. And then these pieces get on the sticky part. So that's what you want to try to avoid if you can, because it's nothing worse than having to pick the shaker bits off the sticky. Okay, I'm just doing it on this 4. I'm not doing these yet because I'm just going to stick the paper here. And I can trim off whatever excess I have and press this down gently, but make sure it's all pressed down, because if you have any gaps, this is where, when you flip it over, this is where all your shaker bits will go flying. So we'll flip it over. There we go. Go ahead and trim this. Here's my card base. All right, I'm going to add some adhesive to this side. Gently, because it's kind of funny. It dips down, so be careful. Then I'll remove this. And then we're going to go ahead and attach our bow. And I'm going to use a few glue dots since this is a larger bow, or larger ribbon, I should say, just to make sure it sticks. Go ahead and attach it like that. That should be good. You can also put a glue dot underneath the ribbon. That way the ribbon doesn't move around. There we go. And that completes that card. Isn't that cute? So I'm going to make another one with you. Okay, what I did was I cut this out. It's the one I showed you that I had cut the first time and didn't realize it cut the whole thing out. And I actually trimmed it. So you do get a nice piece that you can use. I've cut it out here again because I want to use the insides of some of these pieces. So I'm just going to punch this out and save some of these. Make sure I put them aside. It's the glasses. There, I think that's all I need. Oh, the cheeks piece I have here, and then I have the fluff of white for the, whatever that's called, for the hat. So what I'm going to do is I have some white glimmer paper. I don't think that's what it's called. I don't even know if Stampin' Up! Has this anymore, but I know they have a white sheet like it. So I'm going to put these aside carefully, end up in the trash. And I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the paper. All right, so what I want to do is I want to take the little hat and the little puff, I mean, of the hat, and I'm going to glue it in. So I need this little piece here. Okay, next I wanted to do his face. I'm going to do his face in a Copic marker, and I'm using E21. Oops. And we're going to use R20 to add some cheek color. Let's see. Go ahead and glue this down. All right, next I wanted to add a red hat, obviously. So I cut it out of red and saved the hat, which is right here. If you have glitter paper, I think, which I do, but I don't know if Stampin' Up! Still sells it, so I won't use it, but this is so pretty. It would be so pretty and sparkle. And there's that. So let's go ahead and attach it to our card base. Okay, what I did was I cut a piece of that DSP we talked about, or I showed you earlier, for my card panel. I went ahead and stamped out my sentiment, which I got. Here it is. The Ready for Christmas, Sharing the Joy is what I stamped out. And I put a little of the glimmer paper down below it, just kind of peeking out. Now, I had cut this out, and then I adhered it with you guys. And then I'm like, you know what? I want it a little bit smaller. So I take my trimmer and I hack down, and it totally destroys this side. So I tried to put it back together. I don't know what I was thinking. And I finished trimming it with just some scissors, but you could see there's a little bit of damage right here, and it's not as perfect as it was. I should have just left it alone. So make sure if you trim the die piece down, that you trim it before you adhere anything. So we're going to go ahead and put this all together. This is going to be a pretty simple card. I'm not, at least I don't think I'm going to add any embellishments to it right now. Go ahead and attach the DSP. And then we'll go ahead and attach this. Same layout as the other one. I do want to pop this up. If you go on Pinterest, you can see some awesome ideas. Some people do like treat holders with this die. It's just, the ideas are just awesome. The die can take you really far further than just a card. So we'll go ahead and attach this. And did I attach this crooked? I sure did. Ooh, surprisingly I can pull that up. I didn't push down hard enough. All right, let's fix that. And there is that card. So I have this, and I want to use this. So we're going to make a third card, and then we will be done. Okay, so what I decided to do is that the die set comes with these two dies, and I used this one to die cut out the top and the bottom of my card panel. Then I placed this right here. Whoops, I already have glue dots on it. And then I used my star die to kind of fit it in this area to die cut the stars. So I don't know how the finished product will look, but let's go ahead and adhere this down. I just wanted to keep this really, really simple. And non-traditional colors. I think it's really cool for Christmas. Is that straight? Sure hope so. I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the card base. And then wherever the die cut pieces are, you'll see a little bit of white poking through. And then we'll figure out what the sentiment's going to be. All right, so we're going to go ahead. I kept with the theme of the black and white, and I think my Santa is on here crooked, which is driving me nuts, but that's nothing new. I went ahead and used a stitch die to cut this out, a circle stitch die, and then I used the Merry Christmas from the Seasonal Chums stamp set to complete this card. So I don't know how I feel about this one, to be honest. I think I would like it more if the Santa was on straight. I believe my Santa is crooked, which drives me nuts. So kind of going with the, if you watched my other video on the Alpine Adventures, the casual, the beginner, the casual, and the avid crafter. So casual, beginner would be something like this. Not much to it. The die can be pretty advanced sometimes, and sometimes a beginner crafter doesn't have a big shot or a die. But in this case, we'll say this is the beginner. Then this may be the casual crafter, medium skill, and then this would be the avid crafter. I love these two. This one, but these two I really love. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. All supplies will be linked below. And remember, this die is on clearance. So if you want it, you definitely want to go grab it. I have no idea how long it'll last. There is a host code. If you place an order, please use that hostess code. Remember, the new Occasions catalog is coming out in January. So if you place an order of $50 or more and have within the last 6 months, you will get a catalog sent to you. I'm going to mail those out sometime in December. so you have them in time for the new release. Let me know if you have any questions about the supplies I used or anything I did, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye!